In the time of our Lord Buddha, there was a monk called thuzana. One day, he received special robe. He took fancy to that robe and became attached to it. Intent on wearing it the next day, he hung it on the clothesline and went to bed. But that very night, he became suddenly ill and died. Given his moral purity, he should have landed in heaven. Instead, because of his attachment to that robe, he became lost on that robe. One man argued that that incident was impossible. He argued that the elephant cannot become an insect, and insect cannot become an elephant. He viewed that the difference of size of the two souls, the soul of elephant and the soul of insect, are different. In the same way, the soul of monk and the soul of lost is different. So such a rebirth of a monk into a lost was unreasonable. Such an argument is certainly misleading. There was a materialistic writer who advocates a view disguising as a Buddha's principle. He rejects the idea of a future life. That materialistic writer mentioned that even if there is future life, man may be reborn only as a human being, because having reached the top in the world of living beings, man cannot become a lower form of life. A mango seed can produce only a mango tree, and gold cannot revert to its former state of earth. Likewise, man is the foremost position in the world, so man cannot be reborn as an insect. This kind of argument is calculated to win or to convert Buddhists over to materialism, and it is absolutely a distortion of the Buddha teaching that would make the proponent of such a view the supporter of Mara, the evil one. According to Buddhism, there is no permanent self, no living entity. Are there any difference between the soul of an elephant and the soul of insect? The question of size, magnitude or shape does not arise. The only reality in Buddhism is only the nama rupa, the mind and matter, psycho-physical process, and consciousness is the determining factor. So the doctrine of dependent origination, Paticcasamuppada, says that avijja picca sankhara, because of ignorance, there arises karma formation. Sankara Vichaya Vijnana, because of karma formation, because of mental formation, there arises rebirth consciousness. Thus, when rebirth takes place, it is not the corporeality of the past life. It is not the potency of matter, but only the force of consciousness that pass on. Now, the monk and Tesa, the potency of corporeality of monk Tesa does not follow, but the force of consciousness of Tesa pass on to next life. Are there any difference of the soul of elephant and the soul of the insect? There is no such things as big soul or small soul, or big consciousness or small consciousness. Are there any difference between the consciousness of elephant, consciousness of the ants, and consciousness of Pudojana? The mind of an Pudojana, ordinary worldling, is not different basically from that of an animal. So it is not strong or mature enough to downward tendency. It may revert to a lower state, as in the case of psychotic or victim of rabies. In short, there is no basis for the view that it is impossible for a man to sink into a lower plane of existence after this life. Now the monk Tesa became a loss. So it is possible for a man to sink to a lower plane of existence after death. And then we can strengthen and develop our mind by supporting with faith, energy, vigilance, and so forth. So the mind of a dying man, accompanied with wholesome thoughts, ensures good rebirth. Whereas the mind of the dying man, influenced with mental defilements, influenced with greed, hatred, ill will, etc., that mind will lead to the lower states. So wholesome mind leads to the higher realm, and defiled mind leads to the lower states. Of course, this raises the question. The consciousness can reach to lower states, the hell, and the wholesome mind can reach to heaven. The fact is that the consciousness has no substance, and so distance makes no difference to consciousness. We think of an object which is near, Now your mind inclined to your belly. The object is very near, and you send your mind too far. You mentally think of your mind to reach a Himalaya, to reach other universe. The mind can reach there. So we think of an object which is far or near, and at once you mentally gain access to that place, because there is no obstacle to consciousness. But it is otherwise with the physical body. For the physical body to reach to Himalaya, first you need to go to Brazil and then go to Nepal, and it takes time to climb up to reach the Himalaya. Therefore, it takes a relatively long time to reach the same object. Thus, at any rate, for the short term, the destiny of a dying man depends on the last state of his death consciousness, which is followed by rebirth consciousness, of what we designate in conventional sense of celestial beings, a denizen of hell, or animal, or human beings. He reborn as a celestial beings, or he reborn as an animal. We designate. So pure mind can lead to the celestial realms, and defiled mind can lead to the lower states. Hence there is in fact no block to heaven or hell or any other world to which a living being can pass on in his or her afterlife. Now the monk Desa became a loss. The death of a monk Desa shows the extinction of his attachment to his robe on his death consciousness. There followed immediately his rebirth consciousness as a loss that was determined not by his physical attribute, but solely by his attachment to his robe on his deathbed. His ill-fated rebirth as a loss was inevitable despite his moral purity, because he had not lived in the noble dwelling, Ariya abode. There is a protection, there is a defense against sensual desire. There are many methods for the practitioner to stop sensual desire. One of the methods is a reflection method. It is necessary for monks to wear robes to protect themselves from bad weathers. Men and women wear clothes to make themselves good looking, an objective that has nothing to do with monks and practitioners who depend on clothes for protection from heat, cold, and to cover the parts of body which we should keep invisible. Thus, for the monks and practitioners, clothes not for beautification, not for pleasing appearance, there is no reason for practitioner to be satisfied or dissatisfied with their clothing. So one method is reflection method, reflection on the repulsiveness of the body. It deals with the different parts of the body. According to Mahasatipatthana Sutta, there are 32 body parts. Meditators contemplate on the repulsiveness of these 32 parts. So in this sutta, Buddha said, Bhikkhus, a practitioner reflects on this body upward from the soles of his feet, downward from the tips of his or her hair, enclosed by the skin and full of various impurities. So yogi reflects in this way, in my body there are head hair, body hair, nails, teeth and skin. You have to reflect in this way. In my body there are flesh, sinews, bones, marrow and kidneys. They are impure. Yogi contemplate in my body there are heart, liver, intestines, spleen and lungs. They are impure. In my body there are bowels, stomach and digestive food, feces and brain. They are impure. In my body there are bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat and fat. They are impure. In my body there are tears, lymph, saliva, nasal mucus, while of the joints and urine. They are impure. So here we are continuously practicing Vipassana meditation, but sometimes if you go to the bathroom and also when you chew the food, you can contemplate the kinds of repulsiveness of the body during eating and during in your bathroom. So meditators survey their own body, look at it mentally, see the 32 parts of the body and contemplate repulsiveness with respect to these parts. For many yogis, the meditation on the repulsiveness of the body is difficult to understand and to accept. This difficulty should be a reminder to look at this kinds of meditation with an open mind. With an open mind and a firm dedication to freedom from suffering, a yogi may come to understand why this meditation was praised by the Buddha. And Buddha said, Bhikkhus, when one thing is developed, repeatedly practiced, it leads to a supreme sense of urgency, it leads to supreme benefit, it leads to supreme mindfulness and full awareness. So what is that one thing? It is mindfulness occupied with the body. Again, Buddha said, practitioner Practitioners experience the deathless who cultivate mindfulness occupied with the body. However, it does not mean that only this type of meditation will lead to the realization of truth. This meditation is one of the many types of meditation that lead to realization. So this reflection method is one of the technique to control our sensual desire, and a yogi should reflect on the impermanence of his body to minimize, if not overcome, his attachment to it. But the easiest and best way to eradicate our sensual desire for anything is to note and reject it again and again until it disappears forever. So we'll continue this discourse for tomorrow. We have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing Satipatthana Vipassana meditation continuously, sincerely, and meticulously and restlessly, may all practitioners realize the real peace in the very near future.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.